Did your day go well today? Hello, we are Why Though, and welcome to our podcast series that often starts with why questions based on the first principles thinking method. This approach aims to bring you multidimensional perspectives on various life issues. To truly live with a vibrant spirit, let's dive into this episode. Hey, how old are you this year? Honestly, not everyone wants to hear questions about their age. In many cultures, asking someone's age is even a taboo. You might be considered rude if you ask someone their age, especially if you ask a woman. As Trin Kong's son once said, never ask a woman her age because all women stop at 25. So, let's rephrase the question a bit. How much of your life have you truly lived? It seems this is the cycle of a life. Being born, growing up, going to school, graduating, working, starting a family, having children, growing old, then passing away. Everyone goes through relatively similar stages like this. No one escapes this life cycle. But the thing is, each person enjoys each stage of life in different ways. Some have truly lived, while many have only existed. In the movie Howl's Moving Castle Sophie was cursed by the Witch of the Waste to become an old, wrinkled woman. But what's remarkable is that apart from her changed appearance, Sophie's manner of dress, personality, and way of speaking remained exactly the same as before. At first, she seemed sad and shocked by her new appearance, but after only a short time, she accepted it and became more comfortable with her new form. She even felt lucky that her dress still fit her. As an old woman, she no longer had to worry or feel insecure about her appearance. She didn't have to fear looking ugly in the mirror or being judged by anyone. She would have more time for herself, perhaps to sit and drink afternoon tea, watch the sunset, those quiet moments she rarely enjoyed when she was young. From the very beginning, the image of a young girl was just a shell covering the ancient soul she inherently possessed. She was an ordinary, bland girl. In stark contrast to the colorful room full of handcrafted hats, the true Sophie was fantastic. She wore a pale blue dress and waited for a very ordinary hat. She carried a sense of inferiority and self-consciousness, while her sister and mother were beautiful and glamorous, pursued by many. Sophie, meanwhile, quietly busied herself with hats in a narrow room, living a boring life. The girl living in this stagnant loop gradually forgot to love herself and her own beauty. Her soul was tinged with an old, weary color. The curse, inadvertently, gave her an appearance that matched the ancientness hidden deep within the soul of a 20-year-old girl. Why is it that some people, though young in age, have old souls? Chronological age is simply the number of years each person has lived, while biological age refers to how much younger or older a person is compared to their chronological age. Each of us ages at a different rate. Some people seem to age very quickly, while others age much slower. We've all met someone for the first time who looked either younger or older than their actual age. So how is biological age determined? Research shows that DNA methylation plays a significant role in the aging process. Factors influencing biological age include: first, healthy habits. These can significantly impact a person's lifespan and biological age. Specifically, habits like exercise, healthy eating, sleep duration, education level, stress levels, frequency and intensity of stimulant use, and emotional and sexual life all play a part. Another important factor contributing to biological age is genetics. Our genes are partly responsible for each person's biological age. Additionally, where we live also has some influence on our biological age. It's no surprise that the environment and culture you live in relate to healthy habits and significantly impact your safety, as well as the healing energy from the sounds and natural scenery of that place. People whose biological age differs significantly from their chronological age are sometimes said to be aging prematurely. However, here we won't discuss physical appearance, but rather the age of the soul. Soul age means the age you feel within your soul and deep inside your body. It's a mystical number, and those with a higher soul age than the number of candles on their birthday cake are often called old souls. Let's see if you have an old soul. In numerology, an old soul is one that has experienced many reincarnations, having been reborn many times and lived many different lives in the past. However, the factor determining the age of a soul is not based on the number of years or past lives. This is because many souls exist and go through many lifetimes, but they only learn very few lessons from previous lives, mostly just repeating old lessons. The depth of a soul is based on each person's cognitive ability. Someone is called an old soul because they learn and absorb life's lessons very quickly, becoming more mature and wise. Old souls tend to be solitary and enjoy their own company. They have many different interests from most people, so they often find it difficult to make friends with peers. They often prefer to stay home, enjoy quiet spaces, and feel more relaxed in their own world than going out for dates or parties with friends. They are also eager to explore and acquire knowledge and wisdom. If you have an old soul, there's a high chance you will always feel a strong urge to learn something new. These old souls typically have little interest in gossip, rumors, or superficial information that doesn't have a lasting impact on the development of humanity. Third, old souls have spiritual inclinations. These individuals are more emotional, more sensitive. They transcend the boundaries of the ego, seeking enlightenment when shaped by awakened souls, nurturing love and peace. For them, this seems to be the wisest and most fulfilling way to use their time. Fourth, they live more for human emotions than for ordinary material possessions. Old souls tend to think deeply about everything, focusing on the big picture, viewing life comprehensively, and considering the wisest and most meaningful way to navigate life. Money, status, or ordinary material wealth like an iPhone or a flat-screen TV have never been a top concern for old souls. They don't strive to become wealthy or try to save as much as possible. They just need enough to cover basic needs and enough for emergencies. They don't chase luxurious or flashy trends, they choose quality items that last. Intangible things attract them more. What about you? Are you an old soul? How do you perceive your life? Many people believe that old souls struggle quite a bit with life because they feel that none of their peers truly understand them. They are seen as wise figures who can unravel all of life's knots. People seek them out to confide in, not to listen to them. They perceive everything in the world more deeply, even painful emotions like sorrow, fear, and anxiety, which then lead to suffering when they recognize their own limitations and feel exhausted from constantly overexerting themselves. So, how do we solve this problem? If you feel tired of having an old soul, understand that it means you haven't truly matured and grown in your thinking and awareness. The problem can be summarized in 2 words: attachment to self, a Buddhist term often used to describe the entire process of the birth and development of the ego. This attachment to our instincts makes us stubbornly cling to our own mistaken perceptions without being willing to change. This is the root cause for many young people whose souls have aged prematurely, becoming conservative and unable to fully enjoy life. When I was 20, I suffered from a broken heart. At that time, I was in extreme agony, constantly asking myself why the other person no longer loved me. My attachment to self was too great. I only focused on the harm the other person had done to me, then tortured myself over how I wasn't good enough. But if I were hurt in love now, no matter how heartbroken I might be, my rationality would surely remind me that the reason for the breakup was that we didn't share the same views on choosing a partner and how to think. In my suffering, I realized my actions weren't keeping pace with my thoughts. But as soon as I could admit that this baseless, meaningless anxiety was something I had created myself, and tried to perceive and feel things a little differently, I would realize that if I wanted to, I could change my mood at any time. In conclusion, having an old soul is perfectly fine. Accept and love it. Use these strengths to experience a life of freedom. Isn't that right, Sophie? In Howl's moving castle asterisk, Sophie always lived enclosed within herself, with the heart of an old woman. The curse seemed to help her become a person whose age matched her own soul. She accepted it, accepted her aged appearance, and gradually opened her heart to nurture a new, truly youthful soul. She faced it, no longer running away, because, obviously, the things that had long made her insecure were now present. There was nothing to be ashamed of or to hide anymore. The benefit of old age, perhaps, is fearing nothing. Placing herself in a situation where she feared nothing was what made Sophie brave and capable of extraordinary things. The thing to do now is to face this aging, accept it to live, and enjoy the peace on the windy prairie. She found a reason for her heart to become strong and full of passion. At that moment, the curse was broken. She could enjoy her youth. Only a young heart can keep a person young forever. The heart is always a heavy burden, but many hearts have the courage to change for the better. Music plays, thick lips, out of my back fading vanity like a soul of love. Music fades out,